Truth is making a comeback. America's Top Stories with Lisa K. Donner.
In his State of the Union speech, President Trump called out the creeping socialism of the Democratic Party. He said America was founded on liberty and independence and not on government coercion, domination, and control, and that Americans are born free and we will stay free. The president declared that America will never be a socialist country. For the liberty-minded, it was a breath of fresh air, but for the Dems, the president was once again in their face. Joining me now is chief political columnist for Liberty Nation, Tim Donner, my better half, and I must say, a brilliant political analyst. Welcome to Truth is Making a Comeback, Tim.
Thank you, Lise. You flatter me.
So the president, in this week's State of the Union, talked about the S word, socialism. It does seem like socialism is on the forefront. Do you think the Democrats were expecting this? What do you think brought it up to Trump's mind? Do you think everything that's going on with Venezuela?
Well, I think it's clear by their reactions that the Democrats were taken aback by the president's loud denunciation of socialism. Yes, he certainly did apply it to Venezuela, one of the richest, if not the richest country in South America, blessed with more oil reserves than practically any country in the world, and yet they've descended into a state of anarchy and poverty and violence, with millions fleeing the country. And I think he's using, the president is, this example of what can happen with unchecked socialism. So it was very deliberate, and I think we're going to hear a lot more of the S word in the months ahead.
So are you essentially saying this is a teachable moment?
Well, indeed it is. I don't know if it is for the Democratic Party, but it is for the people of the United States, who are going to have to weigh the radical proposals being advanced by the upper tier of Democratic candidates like Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, who are promoting things like Medicare for all and a Green New Deal, which are, full-on socialist policies, to be honest, where the government would seize control of entire industries and change the entire way that commerce, industry, and banking are done in America.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Democrats seem to be promoting, it's not just AOC. There are a lot of Democrats promoting a lot of different socialist-type agendas. And do you think it started with Bernie and it's just kind of rolled downhill from there?
Well, I think Bernie advanced a sort of leftist style of populism while Trump was advancing a conservative populism. Certainly the staggering number of donations that Bernie Sanders received during the 2016 campaign was remarkable. And I think it did set the stage for people being given permission to be openly socialist, which is something that has not flown in the United States really forever, but certainly since the era of Ronald Reagan.
Now, do you think the Democrats can actually win the presidency in 2020 with this kind of progressive/socialist agenda?
It's hard to imagine that they could, honestly. Many of these ideas that were actually tamer versions of the same ideas were repudiated in 2016. Now, you could argue that Hillary Clinton lost because of Hillary and not her ideas, but that's an unsettled debate. America has always been a center-right nation, and it's hard to imagine that they would embrace a flagrantly socialist agenda. When Barack Obama won in 2008 and then again in 2012, he diluted his progressivism enough to make it acceptable to a broad mass of American voters.
Well, I think, honestly, it was a breath of fresh air for liberty-minded individuals to hear the president really hammer down on freedom, liberty, and none of the socialist agenda. So can you give us your final thoughts?
Well, I think it's clear that the president was laying the groundwork for his 2020 presidential campaign and drawing as stark a contrast as possible between his policies, which have created a booming American economy, record number of jobs, record low unemployment for blacks and Hispanics and women, with the promises of massive government takeovers of the healthcare industry, the energy industry, and beyond. The contrast is stark, and I honestly don't see any way that Democrats embracing such an aggressive, progressive agenda are going to beat this president, especially if, as has famously been said in the past about presidential elections, it's the economy, stupid. And Trump has the economy certainly working in his favor.
Well, thank you very much. That's Tim Donner, Chief Political Columnist for LibertyNation.com. Thanks for joining us. Tim and I won't gloat that it's 80 degrees and sunny today. Can't
I think you did just gloat, but thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Truth is making a comeback. Visit us at LibertyNation.com.